Welcome to another edition of the Postgame Wrap. I'm Jarret Johnson, and the Red Raiders are off to a 2-0 start on the young basketball season after beating Sam Houston State 84-52 at home on Friday, the day after Turkey Day. And Texas Tech opened the season on Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, by beating Northwestern State by a lot. Tech didn't score quite as many points. They had 101 points in the opener, scored 84 today, but still a very impressive performance. And then, if you look at of course, this program is all about defense. Texas Tech, under Chris Beard, they're going to play defense, and man, have they done a really good job. They shut down Northwestern. They shut down Sam Houston State today. Sam Houston State was held to just 31% shooting from the field, 22% from three-point range, and at one point, Tech was off to like a 24-4 lead. This game was never in doubt. The Red Raiders have led almost the entire early season against their first two opponents, and they've been really impressive. Of course, they have a big test coming up here. We're going to get a little more into that. I'll do like a quick preview here, kind of touch on what Tech is facing here on Sunday in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena. But Texas Tech will be tested by number 17 Houston in that game. We'll get to that. But for right now, a lot of things working, a lot of things clicking for Texas Tech. I think, and I opened the post-game wrap after the Northwestern State game by saying, I was really impressed with their unselfishness. And once again, here Friday afternoon, same thing. And I actually asked Coach Beard about that in the post-game presser. I said, look, Kyler Edwards said before you got up here that, they've been unselfish. The team has really been, there's been a lot of movement and the motion. And I said, that really has stood out the first two games. And I asked him what has allowed them to have those traits. And of course, Coach Beard, being Coach Beard, said that is Texas Tech basketball. That's what they want their teams to always be. But the truth is that team last year, they were unselfish, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't a flow at times to the team last year. They also didn't have as many guys who could create by themselves and create for other teammates. I think you start seeing, obviously Mac McClung's been dominant. He had a good night. Again, he had 20 in the opener, 18 against Sam Houston State. This isn't high volume shooting or high minutes. He didn't play a whole lot of minutes, but was very efficient. I think he's played like 40, 41 minutes, and he has 38 points in that time. So almost a point a minute for McClung so far, and he's done it in a variety of ways. But him and Burton together, both offensively and defensively, two transfers, Jamarius Burton and McClung, have been very good. They look like they've been playing together for years. I think what Marcos Santos Silva, the big man's doing as a high screen setter, has really opened things up for certainly McClung, but everyone. And a lot of offense is flowing off that. Whether teams are coming at Tech with man or zone, they're sharing the ball. They're getting it to open spots, getting it to open men and their buddies in places where they feel comfortable in scoring. And obviously, they're executing. And it's been very impressive so far. And Coach Beard, though he did say that's the team that he wants every year to have those traits, he did acknowledge that is something that stood out in the first two games, and that's obviously something they want to continue. Now, I said I'd mention who they have coming up next. Yeah, they have Houston, very good defensive team. I asked both I think it was Terrence Shannon and Coach about Houston, and and then Kyler spoke on this as well. Just that basically this Houston team is a lot like them. They rebound. They hit the glass really hard. They defend. They're a well-coached team. Obviously, Coach Sampson and Coach Beard, they scrimmage almost every year. They seem to have a really good relationship. Coach Sampson has had a lot of success everywhere he's been, and including now at Houston. So number 17 Houston is truly the first big boy test. They had these two games, and they looked really good. They looked better than I was expecting, quite honestly, and I was expecting a lot. But Houston provides that first test, like, okay, how are these guys going to play against the big boys? And I feel really good about these veteran transfers that came in. I mentioned McClung, Santos Silva, Burton. All three of those guys, they've played really high competition already before in their careers. And then I think guys like Terrence Shannon, can play against a high competition based off what he went through a Big 12 schedule last year. For the most part. And then, even the guys like Avery Benson who was huge in the win over number one Louisville in New York last year. He has a lot of experience. You definitely feel like those guys know how to play. They could get it done. You wonder how the freshmen, Micah Peavy, Namari Burnett, if Agbo's even going to play that much. How much is Joel Ntombwe, who, look, he's interesting because I consider him a veteran, though he sat all of last year. He played for UNLV a full season. He played some good teams. He's a veteran guy. He's more of a grown man type player. So, those guys are really going to have to step up, and they're going to need Ntombwe to have, I think, his biggest game so far this season, even if it's not necessarily stat-wise, but as a defender, as a rebounder, he's going to have to help Santos Silva on the glass against Houston. So, I think in terms of the first two games, these guys have passed with flying colors. They look tremendous. I think we're all really excited to see how the season's going to play out. But Sunday afternoon, 4:30 p.m. at Dickies Arena there at Fort Worth, Texas Tech and Houston are going to square off. And I think both these teams are going to use it as a measuring stick to see where they're at. And I'm really excited about the game. I think Tech's going to play very well. I do expect it to be a good game, but we'll have to see how that one plays out. But man, it sure is great to have college basketball back. And Red Raider basketball back especially. And I just can't wait for that game on Sunday. So with that, I want to thank you for watching. And until next time.